Welcome, everyone, to a very focused Friday edition of Texas Rangers Daily. In fact, it's going to be so focused, it's going to be bullpen focused today. Except for the first segment. First segment, we're going to talk about Josh Smith. But to get this out of the way real quick, the little, YouTube algorithm begging and pleading. No, seriously. Like, subscribe, share, do all that kind of stuff. Especially if you enjoy the show, go ahead and do all that, and we can have more. We're still going to have more. Texas Rangers Daily. Don't stop, won't stop. Won't stop is the name of the game for the last three segments. We're going to go rapid fire, kind of basically go through three potential bullpen pieces that the Rangers could add this offseason. We'll do that every Friday. I'm going to lay out three different candidates that the Rangers could do per position, and so we'll do that, on the Fridays during the offseason. But first, we got to talk about Josh Smith, because Josh Smith is not a Gold Glove nominee. He was not an all-star this year. He wasn't an all-star last year, and people were like, man, Josh Smith really should, get that kind of consideration. I am here to say, not so fast, my friend, Lee Corso style. Josh Smith, and here's Josh right here, if you guys forgot what he looked like, right there. Josh is a good to very good player. He has had some really interesting first halves. I wouldn't say great first halves, very interesting first halves, especially with a guy his size, and some of the things that he can do on the baseball field kind of defy his size, except for the power. The power is basically what you would think from Josh Smith, but it's not the first half, and it's not the power, it's not all that. It's going to be his downfall as a major league player. He's not going to have a everyday slot after this year because I don't think he'll be a Ranger after this year if he doesn't pick it up in the second half. These are the batting averages of Josh Smith in the second half of season since 2022. Starts in 2022. 183, 151, 215 and 208. So had he improved the tiniest bit to get the batting average over the Mendoza line the last 2 years, but those are tremendous drop-offs from he was batting 294 one of those years. You know what I mean? Like, this is a guy who the first half of the season, he plays a lot of different positions, is, in a lot of different places in the batting order, can do a lot for your team, and the value to the Rangers is tremendous because of all the injuries that the Rangers suffer during the latter parts of the first half. Sometimes with Corey Seager, Simeon never is really hurt, so he never really takes days off, so you never really see him at second base. But the left field position has been a revolving door for a while, and he's been involved in that. Josh Young gets hurt a lot. He's been there. They've actually had him at first base quite a bit this last year. So Josh Smith, his value to the Texas Rangers, tremendously high. His value to the entire rest of the league is null and void because of the fact he has no second half, and this is why. Josh is, under the arbitration, all that stuff. He's under team control for a while. So they hadn't really had to worry about him, going into free agency. But he could have been a trade piece if teams thought he was going to have a good second half. He just doesn't have good second halves for the year. So there's no team in the middle of the season that's going to trade for a Josh Smith who, yeah, he's a super utility guy and probably, can play multiple positions, that a team might need to fill. But for some reason, either the way he trains, his body, something does not compute to where he's able to finish off seasons good. And if you're a team looking to give up maybe a couple of prospects, low-level prospects, maybe some, a bullpen piece or something like that for a guy like Josh Smith, you expect him to have good, a second half of the season. That's when you're going to get him. So, Josh, he needs to do something to push up his major league value, because by the time he becomes a free agent, it's just the market's going to be very, very small, and he might find himself looking at the bottom barrel of the dollar bin. And that's what the Rangers have been at different points in times when fishing in the bottom of the barrel of the dollar bin. When it comes to bullpen pieces, the bullpen sometimes it's cobbled together, and this guy right here and the next three people I'm going to talk about will not be cobbled together pieces. These are legitimate bullpen pieces that the Rangers should and probably will at least kick the tires on. The first name on this list right here to my right is Kyle Finnegan. Kyle Finnegan has been linked to the Rangers in the past. And in fact, the past few years, he's always been kind of in that discussion of, are the Rangers going to pick him up? Are the Rangers going to trade for him? He finally got traded from the Nationals to Detroit and became a big part of their second half surge, or not second half surge, their second half. They actually kind of messed up the second half, I believe. They had a little bit of a downfall because the Cleveland Guardians maybe caught him. Okay, I'll have to look that up. But anyway, neither here nor there. They got the Tigers got into the playoffs, and Finnegan was a big part of it. He's 34 years old. He's had 111 saves. He had 38 last year, and he's probably going to look for the biggest payday he's had because he had a really good year. And so a guy who's 34, coming off of his best year, looking for somewhere north of 10 million, because I think he got 8 million the year before, is he a guy that the Rangers should take a look at? Let me put on my thinking cap. Yes, the Rangers should definitely take a look at Kyle Finnegan. He is a closer. He is an actual closer. He's not a guy who, hey, maybe he might be good in the ninth. He's got the stuff for it. We're not really too sure. No, Kyle Finnegan is a closer. Whether or not he can consistently keep up the 30-plus save routine is yet to be seen. But, I think he can. I think he's earning the money. Now, $10 million is probably going to be a little bit rich for what the Rangers are going to do in a bullpen. The Rangers really don't pay a lot for bullpen pieces. That's just not something that they do. They might have to this year, considering the fact that they can't really add a lot to the lineup just based off of free agent moves and whatnot. That it's not going to be a huge thing, turnover just based off of, hey, these guys are leaving and we need to replace them. No, there's going to have to be some, maneuvering and shaking for that. But the bullpen can be reloaded because there's a lots of free agents in the bullpen. So Kyle Finnegan might be the guy of the three of these. I think Kyle Finnegan is the best bet. The next one we're going to talk about here is the one, I'm not really too excited about either of these last two, honestly. But here we go. Caleb Ferguson, 29 years old. In 70 games, he was 5-4 with a 3.58 ERA, 51 strikeouts, 22 walks, and a 1.17 whip. He has 4 pitches, so that is where his upside is. He's got a cutter, he's got a sinker, he's got a slurve, he's got a fastball. So he's got, some good off speed. He's got, I love a reliever who's got a cutter. So the sinker's very good. He's got a really great ground ball rate and a good hard hit percentage, and exit velocity is very, very low. But the thing is, he doesn't miss a lot of bats. So there's lots of data for all of that because the exit velocity, because a lot of people hit him. And here's the thing. I say no to that. I am not a fan of relievers that rely on people making contact, if that makes sense. I need relievers that are going to miss bats, because the idea of a reliever is to shut things out as quickly as possible with as few pitches as possible, and I think you need to miss bats if that's the case. And so I'm not a fan of Caleb Ferguson being a guy who comes in as a back end of the bullpen piece. Now, if the bullpen's already kind of stacked and you got Caleb Ferguson coming in, I think maybe more power to you to go ahead and on with it. But that's not really the case of what's going on. That's not really what's going to happen at all. If Caleb Ferguson comes here, he's going to be one of the higher dollar pieces in the bullpen, and probably will be looked at as the closer. And I'm just not for that right now. Let's see what he does in the World Series. Let's see what he does in the World Series. He's with the Dodgers right now. Let's see what's going on with that. And finally, last guy on our bullpen focus Friday, Emilio Pagan. In 70 games this year for the Reds, he had 32 saves as a temporary closer. Not bad. He's a 9-year vet. He's 35 years old, a little bit higher up in the age. He's another guy who wants about $8 million or more. He also had the best season of his career. And so here's the thing about Emilio Pagan. If you look up his numbers, every year that he's up for a contract, he has his best years. In fact, he's had 2-year contracts the past 6 seasons, and yeah, so he actually had 3. What was that? 4 teams his first 4 years. Yeah, that's right. And every other season has been a good season. So his contract year, he signed 2-year deals, and all along the way. And so yeah, subpar year first year, and then the second year when he knows he's about to cash in, he's pretty good. Let's see. Last year he was 2-4 with a 2.88 ERA, 81 strikeouts with a 0.91 WHIP. Stay away from Emilio Pagan. Emilio Pagan and players like that, which is why Nick Castellanos, I think, is a no-go. I think these older players that are known for contract year greatness, and it's been proven again and again that they're just not they're not consistent. It's an every other year thing for Emilio. You think where the Rangers are going to all of a sudden magically get the good year from Emilio? I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's how things work. I think we've seen enough data the past 6 years where this year is going to be an off year for him. And then he's going to be 36. And you expect the second year to be... Yeah, you got to use your brain on that one. Emilio got to stay away from Caleb Ferguson. I think that Kyle Finnegan should be added. These 3 over here. Bing, bing, bing. It's Kyle Finnegan. Kyle Finnegan needs to be the reliever of those 3 that comes to the Rangers and becomes the closer if they don't get Devin Williams, because that's who I really want. But I also want you to hang out more with me, Chris, with a positive C on Texas Rangers Daily. It's the last one of this week. Next week's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have more signs next week. So yeah, good times. I am Positive C. Hope you enjoyed the show. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you to Fan Arch, and I will see you next week. Monowia. Stay gold, Pony Boy.